kind of like a rant about business. Uh, Elon Musk said that creating a business and running a business is like staring into abyss and chewing glass. And either he said it because he came up with it, or somebody said it to him, and then he said it publicly. Because that's where I got it, from his public interviews. And I agree with him, because I was once starting my own business and I was running it, and it's literally you have no clue what's gonna happen. Like, you can be put out of business any day. You're like chewing glass. That's the chewing glass part. Like, you're having hardships left and right. Like, your customer suddenly changes their mind, then you need to figure out what to do about that. Then an employee has no clue how to do something, and then you're like, here's the manual, read it, and then do what's on the manual. Then the next employee doesn't understand the what's it called, the project itself. Like, it's like everything is written, but like, it's just, it's also, it's really, it gets on your nerves. It's a lot of stress. And when I myself was running my own business, it was an online business, so it wasn't kind of bricks and mortars. So it wasn't physical business. It was more of a fitness business. And I had programmers, multiple ones, and myself, and a few people giving me some advice. And it was quite maddening, because also at the same time I was working a job with computers in a factory, and also kind of like regulating food production with computer systems, and also having to create those computer systems. And it's kind of really demanding, because in the factory there's it's a lot of, there's real men. There's no boys in the factory. I mean, depends on where you work, but where I worked, that place, that's where men were, real men. And if you mess something up, you can get beaten hard. So no messing around. You screw around, you get your face punched. And so always had that, because everyday people don't have to think about it. They just go into an office and do their stuff, maybe get threatened to get fired, threatened to get their salary lowered. I guess stress is stress, but depends on what kind of stress. But running the online business, it was literally like chewing glass, where programmers didn't know what they had to do, even though everything was given to them clear. It's kind of like, here's a hand, all you need to do is put it down, and they would be asking, so what do I need to do? It's kind of like maddening. Simple commands. But and staring into the abyss part, that wasn't really there for me. I knew where to take the company, where I wanted it to go, because really there's multiple parts of a company that need to happen for the company to stay alive. There have to be enough finances, there have to be enough people that actually make the company there have to be multiple departments. It also depends obviously on what kind of company you're running, but usually there's multiple departments. There's obviously taxes, especially if you're like really starting to make money. Like you're not a single digit group of people. And there's so many parts. Marketing. So yeah, finances, marketing, taxes, enough people that run the company, management systems, software for sending emails, saving the email lists. There were so many parts. Software to keep up with the ads that you're running. Have to also keep up with the market demand. Also have to see what is trending in your industry. If a trend is switched, then your product needs to be switched. Or you can be very innovative and take the risk and create a completely new thing, and it can succeed and it can fail. And there's shareholders, stakeholders, investors, if you have those. If you're taking loans, you have that. You also have to make sure you have enough cash flow. And if you're like Tesla, the car company Tesla, it might not be in your company's best interests to be profitable always, not never. And the important part is that there's also good leadership. Like, if leadership is not sufficient, high chances of failure and collapse of the company are just like, it's just bad. Like, I mean, there's very high chances of the company collapsing if there's bad leadership, like very high chances. And yeah, obviously there's also company culture, company values, hiring people, firing people, product development, product testing, split testing, like for websites, testing different products, creating a prototype, trying the prototype, modifying the prototype according to the market's needs. Also, social media can be used to do a questionnaire to see what the market wants and then adjusting accordingly. But even then, you can fail because a competitor can come and market simply chooses your competitor, and you can be out of business even if your product was actually much better. Like, you can have the best product, but if for whatever reason your market, or like, if people choose what is not your product, like, you're done. Like, you can have literally the best product and still lose, because there's also something to be said about the perception of the company, how your company is perceived, how your product is perceived. Because you can have great perception of a company, but a bad perception of your product. Like, you can also say reputation instead of perception. because it can really backfire if somebody like the bad journalists, and by bad I mean evil, twisted evil, like crippled in the mind, start poking holes on your reputation and creating elephants out of a fly. Like, that's what pretty much evil journalists do to Elon Musk. They just poke holes into his reputation, trying to take him down all the time. And so Elon Musk creates the Boring Company as a backup for money, for gaining money. And the so yeah, the reputation part, the perception part, it's extremely important. Warren Buffett said it takes 20 years to create a great reputation and only 5 seconds to destroy it. So just like one of the laws of power said, guard your reputation with your life, because a lot weighs on reputation. It's just true. It's as simple as that. And yeah, and obviously there's competition, internal politics, external politics, national politics, international politics. It's just a lot that goes into it. Like if you have lots of checkups on your business, like if you're running, let's say, a food business or any kind of business that requires regular checking up, it can be bad. Like, because you can be very good at what you're doing, you can have great intentions, and you can have what's it called, great people, good people, good hearts, and very, very, very talented people, but your competitor can just send somebody inside your company and you cannot know, you won't be able to find always out who is inside your company, and they can be on that day in your company to create a mess, just so that the next minute that authorities show up to check up on your product or whatever else is being manufactured or created or offered in your company, you just get screwed, and you're gonna be like, what? Like, you would have no idea what's going on. And then obviously investigations can happen, and hopefully you would win and the bad guys would lose, but things can get twisted, things can get criminal, and then hopefully then the justice system, the law would help you a lot, because it's very, 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 very difficult, as I hear, in the underdeveloped countries with the law. Lots of corruption going on, lots of dealings under the table, but I also heard that things still can get done. It's just extremely tough. It's really difficult to get anything done in underdeveloped countries. And so yeah, I mean, there's other parts as well, like you could be running the company and then forced to do something that goes against what you believe, like let's say it goes against of some of your values, and if you don't do what you think you need to do, you would go out of business. So that can happen as well. Or you can create a company and it can be successful, but then people come in and make your company not what you made it to be. So yeah, lots of stuff goes into this. it's very intense. But yeah, that's the world we live in. That's the capitalism. But I like what Tai Lopez called the next philosophy of economy, conscious capitalism, which in some religious circles they call it simply Islam, because it's not just capitalism where it's like to the extreme of you just don't care about anyone else but your own interests, but it's also not the opposite of capitalism where it's just all equal and unicorns fly and just puppy dogs are everywhere. It's just you can say it's natural competition, and that's what some religious people call Islam. But yeah, you can call it what Tai Lopez called it, which is conscious capitalism, where you basically try to do the right thing, but if you have to do what you have to do to stay alive as a company, you do it, because that's competition. So, yeah.